Tonight on CTV News, power's back on to customers in West Melton after wild weather. Christchurch sees a spike in road fatalities, and a video's gone viral with two locals filming something not quite right on the highway.
Broadcasting across Canterbury from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Kia ora, good evening, welcome to CTV News, now streaming live every night at ctv.co.nz. Well, power's back on to customers in West Melton after strong winds brought down power lines over the weekend. The windy weather caused issues for many parts of Canterbury, especially in the high country. Heavy gales caused problems for many around the region, with a long period of strong winds bringing down trees and power.
We saw some gusts up to 120 kilometres an hour, so typical nor'west conditions. 77 Orion customers west of West Melton were without power last night through to around 3 o'clock this afternoon when a tree took down the lines. Sunday afternoon we saw some decent gusts, especially inland parts of the Mackenzie country. Saw gusts up to 140 kilometres an hour. Mount Hutt ski field had a gust, I think 220 kilometres, which is storm force, so it's getting up there. Closer to the coast in Christchurch, a few trees came down, a little bit of damage to power lines, but nothing too extreme.
Winds also caused havoc for planes flying in and out of Christchurch International Airport, some needing to circle before landing. The winds have since calmed today, but there are some gusts expected over the next couple of days.
Today's been a little bit more settled, but tomorrow, Tuesday into Wednesday, we pick up more nor'west conditions. So those about the high country, inland parts of the Canterbury Plains, we can expect more windy conditions. Not quite to the same extent we had in the weekend, but windy nonetheless. Yeah, this is typical spring conditions really, where we get nor'west winds, mild temperatures. So it's nothing abnormal. We can kind of expect these conditions for the rest of October and into November.
The temperatures have also been climbing over the weekend, with the warmer weather today for most parts, but it's expected to get cooler.
Dry through a lot of Canterbury at the moment, so whenever you get that wind, you get some pretty impressive photos of the dust. Even the Port Hills looked pretty impressive yesterday, so keep out of the high country tomorrow and Wednesday because it will be windy up there. There could be a bit of spillover rain, but not too bad along the coast in the Canterbury Plains.
A wild start to spring. Jared McCulloch, CTV News. The strong winds also created havoc on a Darfield road, with two locals managing to film a giant water tank rolling down State Highway 73. The video appeared on social media and is now getting international attention. It's not what you would expect on a main highway.
The sides of the road here. This is funny.
Cruising down the road, just heading home, talking, as we do, and it was blowing a go. You couldn't even see up the road because of the dust going across the road, and then my mate said, "Oh, what's that out in the paddock?" I said, "Oh, I don't know." And I looked again, and it was just this big water tank rolling through the paddock.
Uplifted and on the loose, the tank rolled for nearly 6 kilometres on State Highway 73 at some speed.
50, 60, probably more. So went through the fence and jumped over the rail line. I thought, holy hell, this is time for them to get the old phone out and start videoing it.
Taylor and his friend were on a golf course, too windy to play, so they headed home.
We played the first hole, lost a couple of balls, and thought, oh, this is a bit of fun. And we pulled the pin on the second hole. She was getting a bit too dangerous.
He quickly uploaded the videos onto social media for all his friends to see, but it soon went viral.
We need to stop it. How do we? Oh, we can't. We broke. Oh, how do we stop it? There's a fucking.
Well, I thought, oh, it was a bit of a laugh, and then someone said, put it public, it's that funny, put it on public. It's not that funny, but, and then I keep watching and keep laughing and then put it on public, and just went wild, just went nuts.
The 29-year-old saw the tank rolling down the Darfield Highway. Reviewing the footage, the tank just missed a car before continuing down the road. It was lucky no one was hurt or killed.
That's when I put all my lights on and passed the car just to, run beside it, and that's when the milk tanker was coming towards it, and it realised, and then it took off. Finally, it took off and went up through another paddock. I thought about running it into the edge, but no.
It also created havoc in its path.
Well, when I hit these two spud boxes, it just blew into bits. Just pushed them clean over and just carried on.
Then, after its long journey, it came to a crashing halt.
Look at this! Straight through the fence! Oh, let's get it! Let's get it!
just straight over the fence. Not even like it wasn't even there. Hit the hedge and ended up on its side, and that's where it come to rest.
Media from here and even the United States are on his case, requiring him to have extra battery power to take all the calls. But he's just glad no one was hurt and is now rolling on with his day. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
And Mercy will have a full update on the weather front later on in the bulletin. Well, 1,100 man-hours have been spent searching for a missing Christchurch man in the White Cliffs area. 74-year-old Raymond Finney has been missing since the 25th of September, and his silver 2013 Suzuki Swift was found in White Cliffs last Wednesday. Police, land search and rescue volunteers along with specialist search dogs have completed extensive land and aerial searches covering a 4-kilometre radius from where Finney's car was found. Police are urging anyone who lives in the White Cliffs area to check their properties for any sign that Finney may have travelled through. Finney has recently had a stroke and may appear disorientated. Well, still to come here on CTV News, Christchurch sees a spike in road deaths. Welcome back to CTV News. Well, 2 people died on Christchurch city roads over the weekend. A number police say is completely avoidable. Chelsea Daniels has the latest.
Christchurch saw 2 fatal crashes over the weekend, both in the central city and both involving intersections.
I believe the Salisbury Street crash, it was a 38-year-old and I believe a 43-year-old from the crash, which was only about 500 metres away, again at an intersection.
Canterbury police attended the second crash on the corner of Kilmore and Colombo Streets last night at around 8 p.m, where the passenger of the car died at the scene. In Saturday's crash, the driver was not wearing a seatbelt and flung from the van as it collided with a car on Durham Street. The van was seen earlier in CCTV footage speeding the wrong way along Salisbury Street. The driver was confirmed dead at the scene, with 2 passengers currently in Christchurch Hospital's ICU in a critical condition.
Both crashes were caused by driver error in and around intersections, and this is a big problem we have here in Canterbury. We're very disappointed at the rate of fatal crashes this year. We've had 13 more deaths than the same time last year.
And he says there's only so much the police can do.
At the end of the day, safety on the roads is everyone's responsibility, and people need to take that responsibility seriously, and particularly around intersections, because they are very, very dangerous, and we have a lot of crashes around intersections in Christchurch.
Police say the roads are only as safe as the drivers using them, and it's simple to follow the rules correctly.
One of the crashes, alcohol and not wearing a seatbelt, just the basic things that people should be doing by now but aren't.
The spike in road deaths in Canterbury is consistent with the national average, which is also up this year. And he says preventing the number from rising is a real team effort.
The police can't do it by ourselves. We need people to really start engaging and thinking about road safety every time they get into a car, because no one gets into a car thinking, this is the day I'm going to crash, this is the day I'm going to be hurt. But the fact is, for a lot of people it is. So you need to approach your driving with that in mind. It could be the day that your luck runs out and you need to be prepared, and speed, seatbelts, alcohol, the other things that will make the difference in the end.
Police investigations into both crashes are continuing. Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Well, just a reminder, if you want to watch CTV News online, you can at our live streaming website at ctv.co.nz. It live streams at 5 o'clock every night. Well, still with the news, he's taken the top crime writing honour in New Zealand. But what's next for his successful book series? Chelsea Daniels reports.
Christchurch crime writer Paul Cleave has brought home a national award. Cleave won the Nio Marsh Award for the best crime novel, and he's the only writer who's managed to win it twice.
First time was 4 years ago for Bloodman, and this time I think they just went alphabetically. I was first up and I got it. It was pretty cool.
He was given the prestigious writing award last night in front of a packed hometown crowd at the Court Theatre.
To be honest, I was 3 gin and tonics into it at the time because I was quite nervous, because I knew if I won I was going to have to go up and talk. So I was trying to calm my nerves a little bit. So when the news came, I was a little numb and just got up and spoke. But yeah, I was thrilled actually. Really, I did not think I was going to win because the competition was really good and so many talented writers there. But
The judging panel included crime fiction experts from all across the globe, authors, critics and editors from Scandinavia, the US, Great Britain, Australia and New Zealand.
I've written this book and I've come away from it and I've gone, oh my God, this is, I don't think I can ever write a book as good as this again, and I haven't tried. It's been 18 months since I've written anything, so I've been too scared because it's sort of, I've set the bar a little bit, so it's freaked me out somewhat actually, and just other things in my life have kind of shattered my confidence a bit, with some of the reviews in New Zealand and stuff, and it's like, oh God, do I want to do this anymore? So I've kind of walked away from it a little bit actually, so I'm not sure what the next thing will be in my life, whether it be a book or just become an alcoholic.
And he says it's a huge honour.
The award is making more people aware, that there are crime writers in this country. So it's certainly, because Craig is the guy who created the award, and 10 years ago, no one knew. It's just you go into a bookshop and you'll often find New Zealand crime is hidden away in the New Zealand section. It's sort of, we're hidden away like porn in a video store, down the back behind a curtain sort of thing. Whereas now we write international quality fiction. It's on the A to Z section in a bookshelf, so we're in your face with all the other authors there. So that landscape was nothing like that when I started.
Cleve is a world-recognised crime writer, and his new book has received rave reviews.
5 Minutes Alone is last year's book, so it's always a year behind. The new one came out a couple of weeks ago, actually, in New Zealand, and it came out a month ago in the US, and it's doing better than any book I've had in the US so far, and it'll come out in a bunch of countries over the next year. So yeah, and now I just have to write something new on top of that.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Well, the school holidays are proving to be a great chance for the South Island's top basketball talents to improve their skills. Gordon Finlater went out to have a look at a special development camp running at Carl's Stadium.
Developing the next generation of international basketballers. That's the objective of the Mainland Eagles Academy, who are hosting one of 3 yearly training camps at Carl's Stadium this week. The end goal for a lot of these teenagers will be to secure US college scholarships, something Canterbury Rams coach and former Tall Black Mark Dickel sees as a realistic goal.
By being identified to come to this camp, we think that you have the ability to do that. So, that's kind of the underwritten rule. Now, the rest comes back to them, how hard they work and how hard they commit, and do they do their schoolwork, and is that something that ultimately they want to do? So, just by being involved in our academy, we've seen that you have the potential to do that. So it's just a matter of them following through on that if they want that.
The objective is to get as many local basketballers into the college system, with the depth of New Zealand basketball the ultimate winner.
College basketball is at the same level or better than international basketball. It's just played a little bit different. Obviously, international basketball, the players are a little bit more mature, whereas in college they're kind of 18 through 21, 22. However, if our players can get through that environment, they're going to be completely ready to kick on and play.
Today, the students were being evaluated on physical abilities, testing their wingspan and jumping skills before the dreaded beep test. The universities of Canterbury and Lincoln have now also come to the party, offering scholarships to academy players that elect to stay here in New Zealand. The new scholarships are yet another pathway, something that was non-existent during Dickel's development.
There is opportunities now. Back when I was growing up, we had one player that had gone to college, Sean Marks, and by college I mean to a good school. It just wasn't done. And you either made it to the NBL and you could make some money, or you stopped playing. There wasn't a whole lot of in between back then, so it was kind of all or nothing. You kind of had made it in your pathway to the national team already, or you were looking to do something else.
Basketball has continued to grow in New Zealand, and the future is looking bright. The Canterbury Rams' own Sam Timmins was picked up by the Washington State Huskies earlier in the year, one of the United States' most prominent basketballing programs. And Dickel is confident the South Island can produce even more top college talent in the near future in what could be the beginning of an even brighter future for New Zealand basketball.
Oh, I think we do. I think Joe Cook-Green, he just had an unfortunate setback and injury. I think he's a big-time prospect. I think Sho Nisbet can play Division 1. I think Toby Gillooly and Quinn Clinton can both play Division 1. And we've got a whole lot of girls, you know, Sapphire and Laken Wairau, Tessa Morrison, Ezra McGoldrick, a whole lot of really good female players that can all play Division 1. It's just starting. That's the thing. We've just got to get a couple of years ahead, and then we'll look back and everyone will be like, okay, I see how many good players we have. I believe in New Zealand we don't have a limit in talent. We just have a limit in people telling them what they could maybe do. So, you know, that's where we come in. We hope to light that fire and they can kick on.
Gordon Findlater, CTV Sport.
Very cool indeed. Well, still to come here on CTV News, a wrap of the sporting action from the weekend and your region's weather forecast. Welcome back to CTV News. Now here's Gordon Findlater with a roundup of the weekend's sporting action.
Starting with rugby tonight, and Canterbury have secured home advantage for the ITM Cup playoffs after toppling rivals Tasman and Nelson. Canterbury didn't make life easy for themselves in the early going, with young winger Mitchell Suckling sin-binned 15 minutes in. The Red and Black showed great heart, playing damage limitation and kept pace with the home side who had the man advantage. After exchanging tries, Canterbury took their first lead of the afternoon just before half-time. Johnny McNichol produced an ugly-looking kick that turned out to be a great one, setting Ryan Crotty free before he put through Rob Thompson to make it 17 points to 10. That would be the score at half-time, and Canterbury got about increasing their advantage after the break. The icing on the cake came just after the 60-minute mark, with Rob Thompson working like a thief in the night to grab Canterbury's fourth bonus point try and establish a 21-point lead. All but out of the game, Tasman asked some serious questions of Canterbury late in the game, scoring 2 tries in quick succession to get within 9 points. A final effort from Cam McIntyre sealed the deal though, Canterbury taking it 41 points to 25. The win means that with one round of games remaining, Canterbury can't be overcome at the top of the ITM Cup standings, giving them a home semi and potentially the competition grand final. Well, still with rugby, and our under-19 side took out the premiership final at the Jock Hobbs Memorial National Tournament. Canterbury took on Waikato in what was a thrilling final, eventually winning 41 points to 35 after trailing at the break. Canterbury loose forward Charlie Gamble was awarded the Sir DJ Graham Award as the player of the tournament. Rugby League now, and the Canterbury Bulls will need a win this weekend to book their spot in this year's national final. The Bulls had the chance to wrap up top spot in the standings on Saturday. However, they were handed their first loss of the year at the hands of Counties Manukau. The 26-20 loss means that the Bulls will now need a victory against the winless Northern Swords this weekend to guarantee a final spot. There is also still the chance for Canterbury to finish on top of the standings. However, they will need a big win, with Counties currently holding a superior points differential. And finally tonight, it was another successful weekend for Hayden Paddon on the World Rally Championship. The Rally of France provided plenty of drama, with Corsica experiencing major rainfall resulting in flooding and landslides. The weather meant that 2 of the event's stages had to be cancelled, with competitors unable to make their way to stages due to the flooding. After a slow start on day 1, Paddon stuck to his game plan of keeping the car on the road, eventually working his way up to 5th overall, a solid performance in his first outing on the French islands. The result also moves Paddon up to 8th overall in this year's Drivers' Championship, now ahead of fellow Hyundai driver Danny Sordo. Well, you're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Findlater for CTV Sport.
Thanks for that, Gordon. Right, let's take a look now at your region's weather forecast.
Kia ora, Canterbury. Well, I hope we didn't get too blown away over the weekend with those very, very gusty winds that came through. Not quite as gusty today, but they were quite fresh. Today's highs first up 16 for Timaru and Waimate, 14 there for Twizel. Central Canterbury 14 degrees was also the high for Christchurch, Akaroa, Leeston, Ashburton and Methven. Darfield, however, you took out 15. Heading further north, Kaikoura also on 14 degrees today. 15 there though for Cheviot, Amberley, Rangiora and Oxford. 16 was the high for Johanna Springs and Culverden. And over to the Alpine region, 13 degrees today for Arthur's Pass, 14 though for Lake Tekapo and Mount Cook. Now tomorrow we're expecting a hot one, bit of a heat wave coming through. Timaru, a high of 25 degrees expected for you. Northerly strengthening through the day there, but lovely sunny skies and winds possibly not quite as windy as they were over the weekend. And looking ahead to Ashburton, northerly winds for you as well. 24 degrees the high there and 13 for a nice mild morning start. Christchurch might want to get your summer PJs out because we're also expecting 13 first up. Quite a warm morning, 24 is the high during the day. And Kaikoura, lovely sunny skies, light winds for you and 20 degrees for your high there. The rest of the Canterbury region can also expect that sunshine and quite a warm Tuesday. 23 degrees is the high for Waimate, Temuka and Geraldine. Northwesterly winds for Temuka, Geraldine and Twizel. Central Canterbury, northerlies breezing through for Akaroa and Leeston and Darfield. Akaroa, unfortunately, a little bit colder than everyone else here on 14 degrees. 23 though for Leeston and Darfield. Heading further north, we are seeing quite a few northwesterly winds breezing through the day, particularly in the afternoon. 24 degrees is the warm expected high for you, Rangiora, and 21 there for Amberley. Over to the mountain ranges, sunshine for you, Arthur's Pass on 15, Mount Cook 16 for you, but could be a little bit of rain there throughout the day. Looking ahead, Wednesday 25 degrees the expected high for Kaikoura, really warm on Wednesday with gusty northwesterly winds coming through, bit of high cloud there but nothing too harmful. And looking ahead to Thursday, northwesterlies again for you, Timaru. We are seeing a southwesterly change however in the afternoon and evening for Christchurch and Kaikoura, could be bringing a few rain spots with it. Looking ahead for the rest of the Canterbury region on Wednesday, those northwesterly winds really prevailing for most places. Watch those heavy falls for the passes there on Wednesday though. Looking ahead to Thursday, the northwesterlies continue. How we are seeing that southwesterly change come through in the afternoon and evening, and there could be a little bit of rain with that, but a mostly dry day on the whole. So over the next coming days we are expecting a little bit of a heat wave coming through. Some places even getting to the 25-degree high mark. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I bet you guys are as well. And that's your weather update for Monday.
Doesn't sound too bad at all, Mercy. Thanks so much for that. And that's CTV News for Monday. Remember, you can catch up on all the stories and bulletins on demand at ctv.co.nz. But for now, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jared McCulloch. Have a great evening.